It's challenge week, I'm Sid, and you, that's right, are watching Talking Threads.
Talking Threads.
So yesterday Jackie challenged me to host a show about nothing. Unfortunately, I think that Seinfeld is already a thing, so I'm gonna have to make more of an effort here. Turns out thinking about nothing is harder than I anticipated. Every time I try, my brain just fills with stuff. It's like I can't... Wait a minute. That's it. So, nature abhors a vacuum, and as it turns out, so does the rest of the world. We're obsessed with space, and we can't seem to accept there's just not as much there as we wish there were. We don't seem satisfied with the fact that space, as amazing and fascinating as it is, will just never have as many explosions as we want. A lot of oxygen in space, apparently. But what I want to know is, why are we so dissatisfied with our own universe? Why do we feel the need to fill it with hostile races and scantily clad, buxom, green-skinned Martian wenches? Not that I'm complaining, mind. It just seems inconsiderate. Ungrateful, even. Though I guess blue skin is in vogue these days anyway. To me, it just seems like wishing that your parents were a supermodel and an international super spy instead of just neurosurgeons. Sexy space women are one thing, but have you ever stopped to consider how beautiful the Butterfly Nebula is? Or like, any of the stars? Anywhere? There's so much beauty in the nothing that we find in space. It's just simple. You don't need to put sequins on the Mona Lisa, guys. You just appreciate it. If space and science ain't your bag, there's still plenty of nothing we can talk about, though. Every philosopher, religious scholar, poet, author, and artist has grappled with the idea of what was before and what will be after what we've got now. Whether you've got paradise waiting for you or a hole in the ground, whether you believe in body, mind, or soul, there was or will come a point in your life when you're staring into the void that contains an experience beyond that which you can fathom. That, understandably, scares some people. Because we've never been around nothing. There's always been something we can see or feel or smell or hear. Try for a minute to imagine being dead. I'll even help you by taking away part of your sensory stimuli. Welcome back to the land of the living. So tell me, what was it like being dead for those few seconds? How did it feel? If you answered anything, you're wrong. We live on the precipice of darkness, and we have no way of describing it. Except possibly through a medium if you're into that. Does that scare you? I'll bet it at least makes you feel a little bit uneasy, because according to my demographic information, you're human, and humans scare real easy. We've evolved over millions of years to be absolutely terrified of anything that goes beyond what we can see with our own eyes. 6,000 in the state of Kansas. That's what faith is. Trusting in something we can only find in the void. Whether you find your faith in a divine figure that looks like your dad, or some slides your old physics teacher showed you when you were in 10th grade, when it comes down to it, you really don't know anything. And that can either scare you, or, if you're like me, can inspire you to make what you will out of the blank canvas that we find ourselves living in every day. Well, I think I've successfully made something of nothing this week. Thanks for listening. Oh, and thanks to 8-Bit Betty and Fancy Mike for letting me use their music on the show. You can find links to their stuff in the description. Check them out. Nick, I challenge you, starting tomorrow, to interview somebody in your community every week for 6 shows.